Well, welcome back, everybody. Recently, I picked up the Animal Forest E Plus edition from Japan, and I'm able to run it on my GameCube, my original GameCube, because I've installed Swiss on it, and I run that through a memory card to SD adapter. So if you want to know how to do that, just look up on YouTube. You know, you see plenty of people that explain how to do it. And the nice thing about being able to do this is it lets my GameCube run, any region game, which is great. And also, I can force it into 480p if that's not available because I have component cables. This game runs in 480p anyway, but I can also add widescreen support to this. And not every game supports widescreen well, but this one does. I mean, you'll see a few assets that load in a fraction of a second late, but it's not a big deal, and it really, makes the game look great on a modern TV because you're filling up the whole screen. So ignore the fail on that. It's just because it can't write to the file, but it actually saves the settings for this, and then it starts up the game.
Nintendo.
And then it just asks again if we want to run in progressive mode, because that's always the way the games start up. And we just choose yes, which is the option on the left. And there we go. We got Animal Forest E Plus, or Animal Crossing, whatever you want to call it. And it's running just perfectly fine in widescreen mode. So anyone that's played the game before, like we have, the good thing is we kind of know our way around, but we still need some translation, and we use either the Apple translator or Google Translate, because things have changed up in this one a little bit. Some of the menu structures have changed, and because it's E+, it has more features than the American version has, because they took the original version in Japan, and then they created a version for the GameCube, and then they localized it for America, and then they liked the American one so much they relocalized it back to Japan and added extra features. So as you can see, the unfortunate thing is when we started this up, the memory card I had in there was full, so he warned us and it sent us back to the memory management. So we just had to go into that file and clear out all the extra games that were on there, and there was nothing special because this was a memory card we got recently. Someone had found it and gave it to us, which was great because now we can use it for this. I didn't realize how much storage this took up, but it takes up almost all of the storage on a standard GameCube card, which is why they probably released the games with a memory card, because it took up so much storage at the time. Since then, they've come out with third-party ones, and we have one that supports 16 times the amount of storage, so we never tend to run out of storage. So I was kind of shocked when this happened, and I forgot how small these were at the time. So I just wanted to load the game straight up from there without going through Swiss after it had that little memory failure. And I just wanted you to see that this is definitely a non-modded GameCube, because it couldn't run the game. So I loaded Swiss back up and got back to the main screen. And now we're running, again, we're back in Animal Forest in 480p widescreen. And we shouldn't have any problems starting the game up and saving it now. Yeah, so I did a little bit of translation, kind of paraphrase what they're saying, and I used the original names from Japan on the characters. Like you'll see, KK Slider was Tota KK, and Rover here,
unidentified cat.
He's just known as unidentified cat. Unidentified? Unknown. Yeah, unknown cat. Because obviously he would have been a stranger to you at the time. And we found out right away that the clock was off, so we had the option to fix that, so we decided to do that right away and set it to the current date. Not sure if my GameCube is off right now inside, or if the battery is losing time, but I'll fix that some other day. Yeah, loaded in Animal Crossings, and we probably played it on there about a year ago, maybe.
More than a year. It was 2022. so we're just trying to...
Well, yeah, but I mean, we might not have even noticed, or we did some time warping or something. I'm not
that's
sure.
possible too, because on the original GameCube version, I'm only missing a few things, and I jump through seasons from
Yes.
time to time to try and finish my collection.
And the last thing we really played the most was the N64 version about a year ago. All right, so we had named the town, and then something happened that I didn't understand what was going on, and we didn't know what was going on, but it asked for something new that we'd never seen before, and we thought maybe because of the blocks it was a school. So you just named it after the college you went to.
Yep.
And I looked it up later, and we discovered that it's actually naming the SD card in the other port that the Swiss is running off of, because there was a adapter in Japan that you could put an SD card into, and it only utilized 2 games ever, and this was one of them. And what it would do is it would allow you to transfer files over to it for saving and such, and you could also save like pictures and things on there, and then you could take those and put them on your computer, which was, you know, pretty modern.
Way ahead. That's what happens now on the Switch.
Right.
So Rover's off calling Nook for us.
Yeah.
Now we're all set up to have some place to live when we get there, someone to help us.
Yeah, he's kind of like your mystery buddy on here, and he's just like, oh, you don't, you know, you're going somewhere, but you don't even have a place to live. So he's like, he hooks you up with Nook.
That glitch.
Yeah, you can see once in a while, because it's supposed to run in 4x3. Some of the assets don't load immediately, and you can see we were just kind of hovering there without the caboose.
Yeah, I didn't think of it when we were playing last night, but it is evening. You can tell it's darker.
Yeah, we played late last night, so it was dark. And when I started processing this, I'm like, oh, geez, so I got to brighten this up. I'm like, oh, no, it's dark. It's evening time there. So
Because we set the clock right. So here comes Nook to greet us and welcome us to our village and help us pick out a home.
yeah, he tells us that, you know, he's got some homes to look at. So we look at a few, and we finally decided on this one. You can look at all of them and just decide, and there's slight differences. Like
There's a different color roof,
Yeah.
there's a different floor, and there's a different wall.
Right.
And the radio or table may look slightly different, but it's pretty nominal. I just went with this one because I liked the green roof best of the 4 choices. So.
And you can even see that transition coming out, that you kind of saw the 4x3 transition doesn't cover the widescreen. But 99% of the time when you're playing the game, if not more, it looks perfectly fine.
We noticed it a few times during the evening when we were playing last night.
Right. So I think we're probably at the point here where Nook is, he's telling us what the price of it's going to be. And we don't have much money. This is all you bring to
We
town.
give him every cent we have.
And that's not quite enough for him.
No, Nook really likes his money. He's not giving anything away. So, gotta figure out another way. I like that they do that. I don't think that was in any of the American ones when they laugh and stuff.
The ha-ha.
Yeah, and they finally brought expressions back.
Right.
But
These have different expressions above their head, I think, and the ha-ha-ha is it just symbols on the other ones?
I think it's all symbols because the flowers and some of the other things that indicate that, you know, or the clouds when they're
Right.
angry and stuff, you see those, but the ha-ha-ha was...
So Nook offers us to work at his shop to help pay off the debt. So he's being kind of nice to us, but he also needs us for some work to be done.
We need to look at the map to find out where his shop
Right.
is.
So we know we can run up there. There's a couple of maps in town that you can just look at before you get one from the police station. I think that's where we get it from, by talking to the police officers or Copper and, what's the other one's name?
I don't know. They didn't have names when we played this last night, so...
Right.
Yeah, there's 6 other people in town with us, plus the police station, the museum, the Able Sisters, the post office, the dump,
Yeah.
and Nooks.
And I mean, the bottom's a little bit of a nuisance because the pond's right in the center and splits the ocean down at the bottom. So we have to go up a few to get across, but that's the only problem. It's not the worst layout. It's not the best layout you could get. So we finally head over because Nook told us to come by.
It says we're late. He's not happy.
Yeah,
because
he
you can see
seems-
he's got angry eyes going.
He does.
Oh, now he's happy. His belly's shaking.
Yeah, I think he's kind of just kidding. He's like, oh, no matter. You know, he lightens up pretty quick.
If only you could change in real life the way you can change in Animal Crossing. You just like tap an item and magically
You spin. Doesn't he spin?
And there's the money. I went and shook some trees.
Yeah, you could do all kinds of stuff before you even go to Nook. That's probably why he was a little irritated with us, because we took a while to get there.
Yeah.
We just roamed around a little bit.
But I wanted to see if I wanted to buy anything, I had to have some money, and the only way we were really getting that, knowing that we had to do the part-time work, was shaking trees.
And I don't think there's any way to buy anything until you get done with your work, because he always talks to you and sends you on errands.
You have to. You're not saving. You're not doing anything until you finish all of the part-time duties.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone that does glitch videos ever has done that, figured out how to buy something before doing work, but that would be interesting.
First assignment is to just put up the flowers and the trees. Wander around for a few minutes.
He says some stuff about how it translates to being lonely, but I think he just means the store's a little slow and he wants to attract customers, so he wants us to, beautify the outside to attract customers. I said I did some very basic translation here.
And that's the same as, the Americanized GameCube version. It was, you do that first and then you go meet everybody in town.
Yeah, that's what he said. Now he's like, make sure you go out and you introduce yourself to everybody in the town.
I like this. I had the village chief.
Yeah, I translated it on there, and it said he translates the words are to village chief, which is Tortimer.
Yep. Who's the mayor in the American version.
Mm-hmm.
We have a town with heavy on the hippos. We have 3 hippos in our little town. And
I was shocked. I don't think I've ever seen 3 hippos.
No, I've never seen
before.
That either. And the first one, what did you say it originally translated as? French chalk?
Yeah, the first one's name was French chalk when I translated it. And you guys can hold your phone up, use Google Translate and pause it, or you can use the Apple Translate, and you'll see how some of these translate a little different than what you're expecting, and it does a good job, but sometimes you can't always get the gist of what they're saying because the words are just kind of nonsense because of the way they're arranged.
Yeah, and this one was red bean pasta, right?
Yeah, this one, when you highlight it, it's red bean pasta, so I had to go to the Animal Crossing wiki page to find out who's who, and if you do that, you can look up what their American names are.
He's very happy. Flowers playing. There's Tortimer.
Yeah.
Village chief.
And again, what I found interesting, I told you, I watched a video about some of the differences. In Tortimer, he's wearing his top hat, but in older versions, he has more of a, I don't know, more customary dress for Japan on his headgear.
That's more of a form-fitting hat, right? With something hanging on it.
Yeah. So there's still changes, slight changes going on in a lot of these. Oh wow, you can really see those back pictures good now. You see they got family pictures on the wall. But this is Sable and Mabel?
Sable and Mabel, yeah.
Right.
Sable and Mabel label. LaBelle.
And in the old games, they were just called Policeman A and Policeman B. I don't even think they were A and B yet. I just called them A and B because later they became Policeman A and B in Japan. At first, they were just called policemen, both of them.
Yep, took everything that was lost and found.
Yeah.
Now we're on to actual delivery work. I mean, the thing of doing the tasks is just to help you learn the layout of your town.
Right, it's a tutorial too.
Yeah. See some of the different options, and we had played enough on the N64 version from Japan that I thought, I had the options memorized, because when do you sell to Nook? When do you, what's the option of telling you want to buy something and that kind of thing. So. This one, though, as you said, has some more options.
Right, there's more options in the menus.
Instead of 2 or 3, there's like 4 or 5 options to choose from. So the
availability of using that SD card adds some options. I think you can save like patterns on there and stuff too. So, and there's probably ways to take patterns and put them on there and bring them over.
So we sent our letter off. That was our second.
Yeah.
pass.
You see, I'm
We
carrying
picked
a
flower.
That's right. I'm carrying a flower. That surprised me. I accidentally pushed the wrong button trying to run, and I was on top of a flower. So I picked the flowers. And in the GameCube game, you just destroy them, right?
Yes.
I was holding a flower. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So there's just all these, not all, but there's a lot of little differences that occur, and then there's some big ones.
Again, that's something that's in the modern.
Yeah, you see, I'm holding the
version.
flower right there.
You can pick the flowers and then actually put them in your pockets
Right.
and use them for DIY recipes, or you can put it behind your ear
Right, as a headdress.
as a decoration, or give them away, or carry them in your hand like that. But this one, after you were done wanting to carry it, it couldn't go anywhere.
So again, we just have, all the time. Well, that's the nice thing too. On some of these deliveries, if we gave someone a carpet, they'd give us a carpet.
Yeah, so we get some things to kind of help us start out.
Yeah, and we're down to the final delivery. And this delivery, I think, comes about because we sent the letter to this character, and then they ordered.
Yep. And then they mentioned getting the letter and how pleased they are that they got mail. So
So you can see this is the letter we had sent. And
I remember the first time I did this, I was very meticulous in how I crafted everything.
Like you needed to write it very...
And, make it sound all nice and pretty. And
yeah, because you're working for
Then you
Nook.
discover that you can literally just send them something that says hi, and they're just as happy.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that
Same thing with the bulletin board ad
Yeah.
for Nook. You don't have to write anything fancy. And of course, the first time you do it, it's fun to do more.
Yeah.
But on this, we simplify it because... it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Things you learn over time, right? Shop at Nook's.
Did I even add? Oh, I did. I was like, did I even add an S?
Yes, you just have to get to a different.
And I didn't put an apostrophe. It's just Nook's. Like, are the kids? They're not in this one, I don't think. Maybe they are. We'll have to see.
I don't think they come and play until the next level.
Well, and we'll have to wait and see because this will build up.
Well, I don't think it ever turns into a 2-story building in this one, does it?
May. We got some stuff we don't know. I just looked up.
This particular version.
Yeah, because this version added on to what the American population growing one had.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've seen a video that talks about a few things, but I didn't see a video that talked about picking a flower and holding it.
Yeah.
So there may be things that we don't know about.
Well, people may not have tried it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Not thinking it was possible. It was an accident. Those flowers we just planted to help beautify the area. We plucked one of them.
So he paid us a little money. He took our bill down a little more on the house.
We took our uniform off.
Yeah.
Made it our background.
Yeah, we made it the background. And then I figured we'd drop some of the stuff we got from the villagers into our house to make it a little more homey at first.
Yeah. And then, what is it, the carpet? I think you're going to change that. When you change that, it looks almost identical to the floor that's already there.
Yeah. I don't even know if I put it back in again yet because I can't remember if we just left it. I think we left it the way it was after.
We got a wardrobe. We got a table. You can store stuff in the wardrobe.
Right.
So those extra shirts.
Does the diary save too? No, what's the diary do?
The diary you can write things in, but it doesn't help you save.
Yeah, you can see this menu list is larger, so I'm going to have to look up online to see what all this translates to because when you're translating menus like that, it makes it very difficult. We weren't even sure, like, is this the first one? Does it mean to...
Yeah, trying to get it to line up, especially if it's more than one line.
Yeah, it'll start reading them together.
Text, it blends it. So we shook a tree with some oranges to make enough money to go buy our shovel.
You knew there was a shovel in there you saw, and we were like, we've got to at least do that.
Yeah.
Because every day it could be something different, and we might not get a shovel again.
A shovel's one of the more important ones if you want to be able to dig up all the stars in the ground where you got fossils, start filling up the museum, to be able to dig the gold areas.
Well, and that's the thing. There's a glowing spot right outside. You may have seen that already, that there's one of the glowing spots in the ground.
We knew we needed that to be able to hit the rocks every day and try and find the one that's going to give you some money. So, yeah.
So what's that? Is that just seeds or
is
that the trees?
Medicine.
Oh, medicine.
I think that's medicine for when
I'm looking
you
at the
get
blue
stung
one.
by bees.
Okay.
Because that's very similar to the medicine bag that's in the current version. So that's what makes me think that's what it is. Because the wrapping paper's on the back. So.
but we wanted to do a little of everything in this first one before we complete things. And here's another thing that messed us up.
Yeah, so we, again, having played the
Muscle memory.
N64 version
Right.
from Japan, thought we knew the option number, and nothing was making any sense, and everything showing up on the translator screen was...
It didn't make sense.
The wording didn't line up with
But
save the game.
Right. Instead of being, I think, maybe the second or third slot, whichever it was in the past, it's the very first one, which was always like, why wasn't it always the first one?
Yeah, it was 3 down here and like the first option when you got to the next screen with the animal that said goodbye or whatever. But yeah, it ended up being the very first option.
So that
which we only learned because after we picked everything else and then tried it,
Right,
he walked in. So
yeah, I don't even think I showed that we dug that up, the gold, and then buried it.
Yeah.
But we might have a gold tree in a few days.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. So,
but I just wanted to, do this and give everyone a quick briefing of this. There is a translation out there, but I think you have to be a member of the guy that translated it to get access to the translation. So I don't really care about the translation. I want to play this original one because once we get through this, we're pretty much good. You can do a lot of stuff, all the basic stuff you just get by living day to day and collecting. There might be some things we have to read and decipher, but that'll come along, as we go. And we'll just have to do that, take some time and use the translation apps to try and figure out best what they're saying and what options there are. So, and that's about it. That's our first day starting up a new version of Animal Crossing E+ from Japan. And we'll upload a few more and see if we can get some games. And supposedly there's more characters in this, there's more bugs, and there's more fish. So that'll be interesting to see. So thanks for watching this, and we'll see you next time.
bye.